welcome back. Today's reading is going to be what makes you shine. So you've got 3 piles to choose from, pile 1, pile 2 or pile 3. So if you choose a pile, then we'll get going. Excuse me. Okay, pile number 1. Let's see. What makes you shine? Right, on a first meeting, people would see you as somebody who is quite confident, quite in control of yourself. They can possibly see that you're quite mature, you have been through the mill and you have come out the other side victorious. You are definitely somebody who has this feeling of being very content with yourself. There's almost like an ease of expression with you. But also you have, I would guess, you have very strong boundaries. And you don't take any crap. You give the impression of somebody who has had experiences in your life that have hardened you up a little bit. And I don't mean that you come across hard whatsoever, the complete opposite, but just that people will not push you. Quite a mature energy, somebody who is just at ease with themselves and how they come across to other people. And not afraid to end a situation which doesn't work for them. Yeah, there seems to be like definitely this is the second time you've had the World card. It seems to me as if you're one of those people that are quite interested in what makes things tick behind the scenes, and you're very aware of what's going on. And quite perceptive, so you know how to, I'm going to say manipulate, I don't mean that bad in a bad way, but you know how to suss a situation out before it started rumbling and where you want it to go, so you can aim it in which direction you want it to go. So it's almost like a mature, I'm thinking of Peaky Blinders as I'm saying this. I haven't watched much of it, but my daughter was watching it on TV and I was watching the main guy out of it. Is it Cillian Murphy? And just that general sort of confidence and awareness and a sort of, these are my boundaries, don't cross them. You're probably very close to your family, and people also pick that up when they're communicating with you. There's a softness about you. You're probably extremely good with animals. You have the impression of you give the impression of having a good childhood, but I don't know if that's the case, because there seems to be, I'm getting the impression that you're quite tough. So there could have been situations in your childhood that have toughened you up, but not scarred you deeply. And the fact that you may have had, I don't know, instances of arguments with parents or brothers or sisters or bullying in school, but it's not hardened you, it's just made you stronger. 6 of Wands. Yeah, you have this energy of being victorious. I wonder if you get quite a lot of jealousy, because there's this sort of, here you've got this sort of self-content, smug feeling, and also you've got, this is normally the picture of the man on the horse who's very content and he's almost like he's won the battle. Now, I think that you come across as being very easy with yourself and very self-confident. You're probably very attractive, and I think people might find that threatening. But I pick up from this that you don't actually feel that way. You don't feel as if you're being contentious in the way that you come across. It's just general inner self-confidence, and just from the very beginning there's almost a feeling of maturity and love with you. So people might be amused and interested in the way that you conduct yourself because they would like to be like you, but I'm not sure if it's that threatening. I don't know, it depends on the person. There's definitely a warm family feel about you. You could have Cancer in your chart. You'd just be very good with children or people younger than you and animals, and just anybody really. You probably relate very well to different age groups. You could be equally at home with old people or young children. So just a kindness and a giving energy about you. there could be a touch of fire with you here. I'm not picking up this is a fiery pile at all, but there's just that, you know, and fiery people just tend to have an inner confidence about them. And you're giving across this as if you've seen it, you've done it, and you're happy with yourself. Yeah, there's I'm getting a mixture of different elements in here, the way that you come across to people, because as a playmate or as somebody who perhaps wants to have fun with you, you come across as being very grounded, very assured with yourself, but also that you like to play with situations and you do like to be silly and laugh a lot, but also as well you could possibly like travelling. You might have had many situations in your life where if things are getting you down, then you just basically, I'm just thinking this card here, you turn your back and then you go away, and then it sort of is as if it re-energizes you once you get out of a situation totally and move off, because I think that you might be quite grounded and give quite a lot to other people. You have a carer sort of energy around you, as if you're like a mother hen and pull people together and sort people out in a kind, sort of gentle way. You like to muck around. You have that sort of like childlike silliness and fun, and you like a practical joke. You could be probably quite naughty when you're in school. And you're just somebody who likes every now and then just to shut off everything and travel and cut yourself off from people. I think that you give quite a lot of yourself in different situations. It's quite a well-rounded pile here. Okay. When it comes to relationships, I think that you're quite assertive, you're probably very magnetic, you're probably somebody who people pick up from just from the cards before as well, that you don't undervalue yourself. There's a confidence about you and people are magnetically drawn to you. And I'm wondering whether at the moment there is somebody who is interested in you. Somebody perhaps older than you or the same age, but somebody who's quite established themselves and also sort of matches you in your confidence. I think you might have spent a period of time looking for a relationship and then working on yourself, because you've got the World here. Let me get these cards out of here. You've got the World card here and you've got the World card here. So it's almost as if you're somebody who has done the inner work, started off perhaps wanting to be in a relationship, spent a time looking, and then you've worked on yourself until you basically feel good about yourself. It's like a calm confidence about you. Just the way that this card here is the woman, you've got two women here, both of them looking straight at us, just, I know what's going on behind the scenes, I've sussed out what's happening and I know who I am. Look about you. Here there's like a period of looking and waiting for a relationship, and now it seems to me as if there might be somebody in your life who is looking at you, and you might have worked on yourself so much that you're not really sure whether you actually want the relationship you're looking for initially, and not because the person doesn't match you, because I think you've got the Queen of Wands here and this person around you is coming up as the King of Wands and he's looking at you, so I think he matches you. If this person who has an eye on you, obviously matches you, probably in the passion and the way that you like to keep things moving, and probably your openness. But this shouts to me of somebody who is so confident in themselves, they're not really sure whether they need a relationship or not. Because you don't seem to need other people that much. Not saying that you don't want a relationship, but there's not the strong desire to make yourself whole through somebody else, which is what I'm trying to say. Okay. You've come up as Queen of Wands again here. I think that you are not scared of starting off new situations. You wouldn't be the type of person who would be afraid to work on their own, and you're not afraid to tell people what to do. You're not the one to take sort of the underdog job, or just the job where you're being told what to do all the time. You're very good at starting new situations, and you don't actually mind. You might even thrive on a bit of conflict or contention in situations. I do think that you worked hard on yourself. You have an air of authority and an air of confidence. And this picture here, you've got the woman, and once again she's got her back turned. There's all these people shouting at her, and also with the 5 of Swords here is also a bit of a sort of a squabbling fighting card. But you're almost, this, to be honest, this line here was hoping was going to show me your ease with your inner and outer self. So in this woman here is people basically going for her, or after her, or just a lot of strife going on, and you just look really at ease with yourself. Well done to you. There's a feeling of just being, I don't know whether you have your own business, I don't know whether you're thinking of having your own business, but it's definitely, that's the way that you should be going. I do think you have, you're well on your way, don't think we ever get there, to knowing who you really are. Yeah, okay. When it comes to looking for somebody else to share your life with, or in a relationship, or when you're looking for a partner, you need to find somebody who equals your strength. Don't sell yourself short on somebody who doesn't have your confidence, who doesn't have your openness, who doesn't have your open heart. You need somebody strong. I mean, we can't all match, nobody's perfect, and they may be working on themselves too, but that's definitely, you need somebody to match your strength. You probably will end up, because you've got here the Strength card, and this is more of like, I've put this last row of cards here to see what you look for in other people, and then it will tell me more of what you need to develop in yourself. But you've got the Strength card, which is like a Leo. You've got you coming across as a fiery sort of, sorry, the Strength is Leo, but you're coming across feisty anyway, and fiery and just confident. The person that may be in your life is coming across, let me shove these back here, as the King of Wands. So I think you're well on your way of not needing anybody else. But if you do want somebody else, or you have somebody else around you, you definitely need somebody who is in charge of themselves. You need somebody with a mature energy, and somebody who knows who they are as much as you do. Because if you're obviously on the path of developing yourself, you're doing a real good job. So don't sell yourself short. Whatever you give out, I think is really attractive anyway. You need to have high standards with what you get back from other people. And this person, if you have got somebody interested in you, is very, this could be the person. Right, so just to sum you up before we move on, let me just shuffle through. Somebody who has done the work and is very confident in themselves, very self-assured, and people can tell that you don't just skim across the surface of life and have basically been dragged through things and worked on yourself, and you've come across really well out the other side. You're not afraid to call people out when they're pushing on you. You've got a kind sort of energy, you're very confident, you're probably very attractive, and you don't really mind if people know that you think that you are attractive. You're not very, you know, you might not be that modest sort of shrinking mouse person. You may have this just inner confidence, which is lovely. I think you come across as somebody who's quite caring, quite a family person, somebody who is aware of themselves, where they want to go in life, but you also like to have fun, and then there's an element in you that might like just to shut off and travel. There's that, you might like the sea, you might be somebody who basically feels re-energized by being near water, which is, you could be a mixture of fire and water, I don't know, you've got quite a few, you've got earth and fire and water, so it's difficult to say, but you might definitely like to be out in the countryside walking. That's how you revitalize yourself, or travel across, you know, abroad. You've got the Queen of Pentacles here with the Eight of Cups. You probably do enjoy to be outside in nature. You don't like to be locked in the house. Right, relationship wise, I think you might have been looking for a long time, and then now somebody probably is interested in you, but you've got to the point where you have worked on yourself so much that you're quite happy if this person comes towards you or not. You've come up as the Queen of Wands quite a few times here. There's an ease with your inner self. You are not afraid to put yourself on the line and take shit from other people, because you're basically just quite confident within yourself, and they can do what they want. You might be you might have your own business. You might be somebody who's quite confident in work, or in a position where you tell the people what to do. And as a last sort of little message is, your pile is strong. You are a strong person, and you have had a wealth of experience. I am thinking from this, and you need the same from a partner. You can't have too high expectations, because none of us are perfect, but you definitely need somebody who matches your confidence, and the love that you give out, they're prepared to give you back. Don't sell yourself short with somebody who is self-contained. Expect a lot of love from a person, because you know you obviously seem to be confident, and there's a warmth about you. Right, pile number one. Thank you very much for listening. I hope that makes sense to you. That was a really nice pile. A really strong, confident pile. Right, pile number two. Hello. Let's have a look at you. Let's have a look what makes you shine. Okay. You are somebody that is very good at reading other people. You are probably very creative. You are probably very mystical, in the sense that you may dream things that come true. You may be very aware of what's going on behind the scenes. You may be very interested in any occult sciences at all. You can read situations and you can read people, but there's a kindness and a sort of warmth about you. You're somebody who, even though you know what's going on in situations, even if the situation's crap, you are still quite positive and try to bring the best out in other people. I have a tendency to think that you are probably working in a job, or you earn your money by doing something where you have to look deeper into situations, something creative, something where you're using your imagination or your creativity or your perception in some way. But you may also have to bring the best out in other people. My first thoughts here are this won't apply because it's just a thought. I'm not applying it to you at all. But you know, I know somebody who works in PR, so she's very creative, and basically she tries to bring the best out of a product so that it sells. So I wonder whether you could do something like that in a wider sense, where you have a certain something or a person or a group of people or even an object or something where you have to read in between the lines and how to bring the best out of the situation or to sell it. Because it's a mixture of creativity and perception and bring the best out of things. Anyway, I'm going to move on. I wonder whether you need quite a lot of alone time. I think that you are extremely intellectual. You are probably somebody who likes to read. You're probably somebody who communicates really well. And in some ways, it may be a little bit above some people's heads. But you also, I think you need to spend quite a bit of time on your own to rejuvenate, because if you are very sensitive, which these two cards tend to imply, you might be somebody who goes out into the public, basically gets overstimulated and comes back again. You might just need to recalibrate. You're probably very interested in other people. You might be one of those like note takers, where you just really like watching other people and what makes people tick. You're probably very witty, very funny, very good with your words. You're probably extremely good at talking to people. So in situations, even formal situations, you come across as very articulate. And with your friends, you're probably very witty and you can play with words and make things funny. But I do think from these cards here that once you've been out and made people laugh and shown people how clever you are, you probably need to come home and have a little rest, a little afternoon nap. Almost as if there's a sensitivity about you that almost gets drained when you spend too long in public. So if you are quite creative, quite perceptive and quite spiritual, there's that possibly could be so. Okay. There's a sort of a maverick energy about this one. I think you're somebody who's quite rebellious and likes to shock. You're somebody who comes home or sends a postcard to your mum or to your dad when you've gone to work for the day, and you're in Africa. It's that sort of, you might be in Africa, you might live there anyway, but there's that sort of feeling about you where you basically, when you get bored, you like to turn things upside down. You're probably a bit of a rebel. I guess that you like travelling, same as the first pile. There's this sort of, you rejuvenate yourself by moving abroad. You can see things from a different perspective. You probably like other cultures. You probably just enjoy just the difference of people when you go into different countries. There's definitely a feeling that you're quite naughty and that you like to, when situations explode, say you're in work or you're in, as long as it's not your situation, somebody else's situation, and it's exploding, and you quite like that. There's excitement about the drama. You like excitement. You don't like life to be dull. But there's also this very sort of loving energy. You're probably very close to your family or maybe your brothers and sisters. You're probably very good with children, and you're probably quite romantic. There's like a creative sort of romance about you. You're probably quite a dreamer in that way, and that's probably where you get your creativity from. You're a fantastic imagination. If you don't use this in your career, then I think it should be definitely something. If you're thinking of changing careers, then you need to do something where you express your inner world. And this is almost like an advertising sort of feel about it, because there's the creativity, but there's also the shock value, where you really know how to get into people's psyche and just give them something that's going to catch their eyes. Not just advertising, but if in some way your career or what you do in life and the way that you communicate has a shock value or an immediate attraction value, and you're able to use your creativity, there could be thousands of jobs. But that's what I'm getting from this so far. Okay, I wonder whether in relationships also that you might be quite defensive. You may be somebody who has been hurt. Maybe you may have been cheated on, or you may even at the moment be in a relationship or attracted to somebody who has somebody else. Because I'm getting a sort of I've also got this with this card here as well. There's also this feeling of you only like to tiptoe. Because you're very sensitive, you only like to dip your toes into some situations. And when it comes to relationships, you're very afraid of, because you are sensitive, of getting hurt. And you almost build up your defences a little. And you may have been in a situation where there has been 3 people in the past, and this has not helped you, or this may have just caused it. In some ways, you may want to resort to watching and not getting so much involved in relationship arena because you're afraid of getting hurt, or you have been like that in the past. I'm going to pull a couple of cards on that one. There's an inner strength to you though that you like, I think in relationship you like to watch and weigh people up a lot before you reveal yourself, because you're so sensitive. I think you've built up this like self-protective or sort of barrier, and then you have a strength about you which might scare people off, and I think that may be due to the fact that you could have been hurt in the past. Okay, I do honestly think that you may have met somebody or been with somebody in the past, or been attracted to somebody who's been quite macho, who has been quite intolerant and not really recognised your worth, not really recognised, you know, the fact they have been slightly different from you because you come across as being very sensitive, and you might have found them attractive because they had qualities that you didn't have. The fact they may have been confident, they may have just been larger than life, and they may have hurt you. Okay, right, I'm going to keep going. Yeah, okay. You have inside yourself this sort of awareness of the world and what's outside the world. And what I mean by that is you could be very interested in astrology, you could be very interested in patterns. If you're not, you're just very aware of people's inner dealings and the bigger picture, and it gives you, this is probably, I'm getting a very sort of spiritual vibe about you, but you also use it in relationships to protect yourself, and there's a strength about you which there's a strong, what I'm trying to say is you're probably very direct. When you've decided where you want to go, there's nothing that's going to stop you. And I think this is coming across in your relationships. You're very stubborn and very, very strong-willed. And sometimes I think that stubbornness and that ability, combined with the ability to see the bigger picture and how things move, can sometimes cause you more upset than anybody else. You are a huge mixture of being beautifully creative and aware and sensitive, but with an inner strength and stubbornness that can sometimes be your worst nightmare. I've got a funny feeling you're the type of person that easy with the flow, you know, people know that you're easygoing, you're beautiful, and you have to pull back sometimes because you get hurt. And then I think people in general push upon you and push upon you, and then you just blow. You may be one of those people that just blow and walk off. You may have just, you're kind to those people who you trust, and you're very loving and you're very open. You're probably very good with vulnerable people. But then people who are pushing on. Okay, when you meet other people, especially in relationships, you tend to be looking for somebody who has these feisty qualities, and also in this past relationship, which is possible, where you've met some sort of macho man or woman. You tend to look for that. I think you like somebody, especially if you've got a bit of Cancer in your chart, you like somebody to take charge. You like that sort of macho man, you know, the type of like hubba hubba, I'm going to look after you sort of person who's quite feisty. And this person, I think, in the past, from going for this type of person, has really caused you some sort of heartache or pain. You're attracted to people, to men who seem larger than life. If you're a woman, or I'm trying not to step on toes here, but regardless of your sex, you like somebody in charge of themselves. You almost like them a little bit stern. You like somebody who's quite sexual. They could be quite tall, but they're definitely somebody who comes across as being in charge of themselves. And there's like a huge sexual feel to this sort of searching for somebody. But this person or these people that you're looking for have caused you pain in the past. And the reason that they've caused you pain is that you haven't quite developed your defences enough. That's something that you could possibly work on when you don't kick off when you've been pushed too far, but you just generally, with an inner confidence, you set your boundaries. And I think what you need to bring out in yourself in order to attract the right partner is you need to work on your I'm not going to say confidence in the fact you're not confident, but you need to work and develop your authority in life. You need to know who you are and know that actually you've already got this inside yourself. You are somebody who likes to take charge, but you may be sensitive and need to come out of it occasionally. But there's like a fire about you as well that's hidden, and that's why it explodes. You haven't quite developed this part of yourself where you are assertive and open and adventurous and giving, and you're sort of relying on this gentle bit that's also a part of you, and you're pulling people towards you that are playing out these feisty, bossy bits, when to be honest, you need to develop that in yourself in the best possible way. You need to be, I can't say authoritative, I just did, but just in charge of yourself, and say what you want in life and go and get what you want in life, and be in charge, and call on your sensitivities, call on your intuition, and call on all your creative qualities, and make something of it, but do it for yourself. And you don't need another person in your life to do this for you. And then that's when you're going to attract the right person. So not with the negative, fiery, bossy qualities, but just the sort of protective sort of I'm in charge of myself, and I'm going to give you rein to do what you want qualities. I hope that makes sense. Okay, pile number 2. I'm going to stop there. Thank you for watching. Oh la la, come here. Hi, pile number 3. Let's have a look. What makes you shine? Okay, what makes you shine is that you are in charge of your emotions. You are somebody who has a huge capacity to love. You are somebody who people are drawn towards. When things go wrong, you are probably very receptive, and you are a good listener, and you have maturity about you and a warmth about you that draws people to you. You are the type of person who is very good at giving advice. You're very good at telling people where to go next in their life when things have basically gone wrong. You're yeah, no, a sort of a calm, warm optimism about you. You like life to be an adventure, and you like people to push themselves, and you're probably very good with young people or giving advice, or people come to you to know what steps to take next, because you have a maturity and a warmth and an awareness when things go wrong, what steps to take next. This is quite a I think people may be a little bit wary of you in the best way possible. I think you come across as being quite a cool man or a cool woman, and cool is in the way that you seem to have got your life sussed. There's a warmth about you, and you're very good at communicating with other people and making them feel good. But there's almost like a calm Yoda about you. There's this feeling of you have a lot of, I'm going to say tools, but that's just such typical. Oh no, hold on, it's the Hierophant. I beg your pardon. Right, I'm going to go back to these cards. You come across as being very much in control of yourself, very calm and very loving, somebody who's quite happy to be left on their own. There's like a sort of an awareness and an intuition about you. You're probably very, yeah, but this, you've got the Owl here, and you've got the King of Cups here. So there's this sort of a wise aura about you. You're very, very good. These two still stick. It's this card I read wrong. You're very good at communicating with people, and you're very open-hearted. Now, I thought this was Magician. When I was about to say you've got a lot of tools up your sleeve, you are probably somebody who is quite traditional, in the sense you like things to fit in certain places, and people won't push you around because you have an aura of being in control of yourself. There's a mature sort of self-contained, I'm aware of myself, I'm very loving, I'm very giving, I'm going to give out to you, but make sure that you don't overstep the mark. The first pile, there was almost a boundary issue. Now with you in the third pile, I don't get that feeling. I get the feeling that you are somebody who you possibly could be in a caring profession, or some profession where you have to work with other people to pull the best out of them, and you give the impression of being very much in charge of yourself, but very warm-hearted and aware, and very sort of, I've got a funny feeling you might be one of those people that are very aware of what other people are thinking, what's going on behind the scenes. There's a wise warmth about you, but with don't muck with me around you as well. I don't think people would muck with you. You've got some mature energy here, not somebody giddy. Not there's anything wrong with giddy. Ah, you've got Magician. Here we go. Here he comes. Okay. I think that you are somebody who is very good at making life fun. You are, if people if people come to you for ideas for nights out, I think what I'm trying to say, sorry, I'll start the line again. People will come to you for ideas for nights out, what to do, where to travel, you know, just you will be the hub, the person who plans things, because you know how to make life exciting. You like to get things started. You're somebody who likes a good night out. You probably have many different avenues or different ways in which different hobbies. But once again, you've got the Queen of Cups here, so there's almost like you include people if you're planning an adventure. You're not the type of person that wants to go on your own. You will include people with you. You're probably quite good at bringing people along with you on your life and having fun as you go. There's something quite unique about you, something that other people may not have. It's like a different mindset. If if people want things different or done differently in work, or if there's like a fun activity to be planned, or just anything, and they want a different viewpoint, they will come to you, and you will be able to help them. There's a kind, loving feeling about this, but also with a little bit of a maverick feel about it. Okay, I've got a feeling here that you may have just ended a relationship, or a relationship has come to some sort of ultimatum, or just somebody younger than you, and the situation has just ended, and it may be causing you some sort of pain, or just you feel like you may be at rock bottom. I don't know whether this, to me, all these seem like traits that are easy to sort of read, and then I've come to sort of looking a little bit relationships, and it just says end. There's like somebody younger than you, somebody who's quite intellectual, somebody who's probably very good at conversing, and there's like looking at this situation here where you may feel like it's ended, or you feel like it's hit rock bottom and you're just trying to find your way up. And that doesn't seem like... Yeah, I wonder if somebody's just... You might have felt that the situation started off well, but then this person is sort of cut out of your life. I don't know if that applies, but those cards come across quite strongly compared to the other cards, where I'm just getting a general feeling of who you are, and then there's sort of like an inkling of relationships. There's somebody looking at you that could be younger than you, but it's as if either they've finished a relationship and coming towards you, or if you're in a relationship, it may just have ended. I don't know who that applies to. I'm going to keep on going and see. Right, you're somebody who's very good at looking at the bigger picture. You're somebody who enjoys spending time with friends and celebrating. You're quite aware of, you have a general good feeling of karma, and how things generally, when things are shit, then they normally get better, and you just have to weather it out a bit. You're very intellectual. Sometimes I get the feeling that you like to have a good time. I'm picking up from here that you're generally somebody who likes to have fun. You like to go out and party. You like to just kick your heels back. And occasionally you could swing in between party girl, fun, and then almost feeling that life's hard, and then you swing back up again. I'm not saying you're bipolar, I'm just saying that maybe something that you recognise in yourself is that you search for fun, you want life to be fun, and then when you're on top, it's almost as if, because this is like how do you see your inner and outer self, so it's almost as if you're on top because you've got the Wheel of Fortune here. It's a big card, and it's almost like an inner awareness of like a karmic pattern. So you can see that you're on top, but you're well aware that when you're at the bottom, you can work back up again. That's what I'm trying to say. You probably look at life in quite an intellectual fashion, in that, yeah, this is crap, but it doesn't last. It doesn't rain forever. And then the fun times come. So you roll with the punches. That's what I'm trying to say. You basically weather the waves. You roll with the punches, and you take it on the chin when life's crap, and you wade through the mud, and then you're just basically very good at picking yourself up again, starting again, and you make life fun again, which is quite strange to come under here, because you've got this sort of relationship bit where you may feel as it may be something from the past that's hurt you quite deeply, where you've had somebody who has gone out of your life without explaining why, and you've almost felt as if you've been kicked in the teeth. So, and then these cards underneath sort of show a woman who is upset, who is basically weathering the pain, but you're really good at that. That's it. You're really good at picking yourself up. You're very good at looking at the good points in life. Okay. You've got the death card twice. And in this last row here, I've tried to ask myself to look at the cards to see what you are looking for in a partner. And the reason behind that is normally the bits that you're looking for in a partner are the bits in yourself that you haven't quite developed enough, or else people don't feel the strong need to look for a partner. I don't get the general feeling that you're desperately looking for somebody, but everybody's the same. We're basically sociable animals. So this is what I'm picking up. You've had the death card twice. You quite like the transformation that partners bring to you. You like somebody to come into your life that changes you and wakes you up in some way and basically changes. You've also got this card behind here of the Wheel of Fortune. And so the Wheel of Fortune of Death is, if you're looking at partnerships and you're very good at picking yourself up, you also look for a partner that does that for you. You could be one of those people who almost bring along situations that take you out of your comfort zone. You may like people that take you out of your comfort zone so that you feel transformed at the end of the relationship. You like to play with ideas, you like to play with thoughts. You're very good at communicating, so you might be the type of person who likes to leave a relationship or be in a relationship where they sort of challenge you intellectually. You like to be quite detached and to look and to think and to talk about things or thoughts. That's what I'm picking up. But there's almost like you like to play with ideas, you like to play with possibilities. You're probably somebody who likes debating, who would look for a partner who is aware of what's going on in the world, or likes to talk about what's going on in the world, or basically just shares your interest in a wider sense and transforms you in some way. So if I was going to say that's for you, the points that you need to develop in yourself so that you're attracting the right type of partner is that you need to be aware that you, in periodical, is that the right word? Intervals? Periodic? No, I don't know. You like to basically throw the baby out of the bathwater and reinvent yourself. So you don't look for other people to do that for you, because it could be, if by the time you've waited for somebody to come into your life to give you that sort of feeling of, oh, I've got to pick myself up now, and they could do it in a negative fashion. You need to do that in a positive way so that you know how to change yourself, reinvent yourself. If you want to change your body, do what you want to do to get that, change your hairstyle, change your job, do that in your own time, so that the other people don't come in and do it in a fashion that's almost pulling you along and you weren't quite ready, or in a way that you don't want to go. I hope that makes sense. You also as well should be, I would say, keeping yourself intellectually stimulated. You may be somebody who likes to read a lot, or who likes to research or find out facts. So that's something inside yourself that you already have. You're probably very good at communicating. So don't look for that in anybody else. You just develop that yourself. Read up on things that you find interesting. Keep yourself sociable so that you're very good at debating, or just generally just chatting. Even if it's just flirting, even if it's just being funny, because you're probably very witty. You're probably somebody who likes to play with words, and you like to, make people laugh, and vice versa. You like to be in a relationship where there's a lot of communication. You also as well, the last thing that I'm picking up here is that you are somebody who does not like to be tied down intellectually or emotionally in a relationship. You're somebody, although you're very caring and very sort of giving to other people, you need to feel that your options are open in some way. You don't want to be blocked in. You're somebody who needs to reinvent themselves, and you pick up information from different places, from different people. You might be really interested in fashion, you might be really interested, I don't know, there's just different ways that you will reinvent yourself. It could be through your job, it could be through your looks, I don't know. But you need to keep that open. Don't let somebody come into your life who's quite structured and says, you know, this is how things should be, this is how life should be. You didn't get the Hierophant, did you? No, you didn't. It was another. Oh, you did. What was that for? Okay, your communication, okay, the way that you come across to people is quite structured. Right, okay, I would say that may be something that you could possibly, when you're looking for a partner, you may need to not give out that energy of being so structured. You possibly need to give a more free-flowing energy around, so the partner that comes into your life matches that. Okay, so to sum you up, let me just go through your piles, which is really difficult. So where did I get that from? First impressions are... Oh, what the bloody hell's going on here? Okay, that goes there. You're somebody who is mature and caring and giving. You draw people towards you. People feel that they can rely on you. You're like a shoulder that they can cry on, and they trust you. You've got this sort of caring. I tend to be picking up that you may work with young people, or just that sort of energy where people are drawn towards you to help them, and you're quite good at it. You're also very wise. You're very good at relating, but you do have this sort of orthodox, it's like an insult, isn't it? An orthodox approach about you, where people don't muck you about. You basically, you know, that's where you stand. You keep away from me. I know who I am. I'm open. I'm communicating with you, but just don't push it. And I wonder whether relationships at the end, that's what people are picking up. So you may be attracting this type of man or woman into your life who's quite sort of traditional, and it may not be something that you want. You're somebody that's really good at having fun, and you drag people along with you because you have this sort of loving energy with you. You're good at kick-starting the fun, and probably when you go out, you probably just naughty. The thing I'm getting there, probably naughty. You've got a bit spicy sort of attitude to you when you go out or when you're with people. I don't know, this almost doesn't fit in with the power. There's this feeling that you have ended something in a relationship. I'm not even going to go there, because it could be something in the past where somebody's hurt you. And this person may still be looking at you and what they've done to you, and it might be causing them more pain. Hopefully you've moved on. And finally, we're just getting to the... You roll with the punches. You're very good at seeing the bigger picture and picking yourself up and knowing when it is time to get out of the crap and start to have fun again. Now this is the bit that's interesting, because this Hierophant energy is, you do give it out a little bit. You're a little bit like, don't push my boundaries, I like things in place. And you're drawing this type of person towards you who's very sort of bossy, maybe, a sort of, you know, that likes to be the boss in the relationship, when really what you're looking for is just somebody to change you. And you don't, you've got the thing here, haven't you? But you don't need that. You need to change yourself, reinvent yourself in any which way possible. You know, you're very intellectual, you're very aware of things. Just use your imagination, reinvent yourself. Before somebody comes in and tries to drag you down a path that you don't need to go, you choose the path, you choose where you want to go, because that's what you're good at. You're good at reinventing yourself. You have a lot of creative imagination, but you don't let people box you in either. Keep your possibilities open. Don't go for that person who is just going to try and control you. You do the controlling in your life, and you move yourself forward. Right, I'm going to finish there, pile 3. I hope that helps in some way. Thank you for watching. Bye.